What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Risky Ryan Trades. We're going to go over our weekend review, take a look at where all the weekly candles closed. We're going to be looking at Gann analysis. We're going to be looking at the SPY, the NASDAQ, the Mag 7, some other important stocks, some internet favorites like Palantir and SoFi, so be sure to stick around for that. But before we get started, here is my disclaimer. Here it comes. Trading is risky. This is not financial advice. My opinion only. Trade at your own risk, but I do hope that you get some value out of this video. And if you do, if you could smash that like button, it would be greatly appreciated. Also, shout out to my new subscribers. My last weekend video did some pretty good numbers, so I'm almost at 100 subscribers. You could be number 100. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you would get some value out of this video. Okay, let's just take a look here. Okay, so we're kind of flat, right? We traded kind of flat on Friday. The Russell kind of bled out, though. That was down 1%. The other two pretty much ended where they started. A little bit of a sell-off at the end of the day. Taking a look at the heat map, let's just take a look at the weekly performance and see how things ended. Meta, 7%. Tesla, 3.5%. Amazon, about 2.5%. Google, 4%. Nvidia down 2.5%. Apple up 2.5%. Microsoft up 1%. Oracle doing strong. CrowdStrike, look at that. CrowdStrike's are already up to $300. I'll be frank, I think you get a chance to buy this at $275, $260 before all of this is said and done with CrowdStrike. What else we got? ServiceNow coming back to life, 937. That was at 888 not that long ago. Banks doing well. PayPal, 10%. Let's do the full. Take a look at Palantir. Palantir with 4.5%. Spotify and DoorDash. So like communication services has been doing really, really good. Zillow up 12%. So Zillow is kind of a tech adjacent trade with the home builders and real estate. With these rates coming down, you're going to see more people buying houses over the next year. So people are saying Zillow might be, a good choice. And you can see the chart. People are already getting in front of this. If you go in the Wayback Machine. So, interesting. Look at this. Just got up and over the 50-month, closed over the 50-month. So we got to see where the monthly candle closes, obviously. But yeah, I mean, if it gets up and over the 50-month moving average, that's obviously a significant thing. So interesting. Let's see what else we got here. How did SoFi end up on the week? Who doesn't love SoFi? Credit services, SoFi up 4%. Sitting at $8.05, where I actually picked up some more shares. Do I think it goes below $8? It could, but there's some things that I'm seeing that tell me that is unlikely. Okay, so let's go to the charts. And I do have my Heikin Ashis going, so let's go to the weekly and see where we're sitting, how we're looking. Okay, so on the SPY. On the SPY, higher close, we're in the arc, everything looks pretty good. We have our first powerful Heikin Ashi candle. A weekly Heikin Ashi stop loss could be placed at about 552. Looking at a daily, interesting, regular candle. So this is where it gets weird. So you did have a reversal candle and then you had a close below it, but look, more volume than this one. Green volume. Kind of filled in this gap here. So this is kind of inconclusive to me. I would, as far as stop losses and being concerned, if the SPY gets below this 552 level, that's where I get most concerned. And then, yeah, 552, I get the most concerned because then you're getting below the Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen. You're even getting a little too close to the bottom of the arc. Could we see a retest of the bottom of the arc though? Sure. So I think that we do probably see some volatility, but we also could see just an absolute blast higher. You know, sometimes the least expected things are the things that happen. NASDAQ. NASDAQ actually looks stronger than the SPY, and that's why I am more bullish on the NASDAQ. We have much more room to go to reclaim our all-time highs, and I think as the stock market moves higher, you're going to see NASDAQ move stronger. Because as of this recording, we are still 4.5% away from all-time highs, whereas the SPY is already above all-time highs. Taking a look at where the weekly closed. Yeah, looks strong. Looks strong. I don't have any like exact, let's see here. This 487 appears to be a pretty strong level, 487. As far as stop losses go, you know, 464. But this is what I see this right here. See how it comes down? And by the way, Heikin-Ashi candles, they're red when they're in a downtrend, green when they're in an uptrend. When you see a wick pierce the top of a flat top, that means that we're moving higher. When you see a, you know, like the bottom of a green candle get pierced, that means we're moving lower. What you have here, see how it's red and then you have green and you have a wick down? It's kind of like a weak reversal. This is a strong reversal. You got a flat bottom. And we popped up and over this level right here. So we're going to see, I would predict a higher high than this. We're going to get above, we're probably going to tap 490. Now, does it reject? Maybe. It might. We also might just see it pop all the way up to 500 here on the Qs to touch this Gann angle. And actually, if I had to make a prediction, I think before the end of the month, we'll see a candle close right under it. Potentially next week, if it's strong, we'll probably get a candle that closes right under it. But I do like the Qs. IWM, this sector just kind of scares me. I don't mind picking like an individual stock like a SoFi, but it's just schizophrenic is the only way I could describe this thing. And really it's like, yeah, you want to bet on these rate cuts, but then do you really want to put all your eggs in a basket that gets flipped over and all the eggs go smash if a recession appears? You know, because like that's what's going to happen. Any sense of bad economic data in the small cap trade will get super volatile. So I don't feel super comfortable investing, you know, in the IWM as a whole. I think that picking individual stocks, you know, like Zillow is only a $15 billion stock. You know, that's maybe, I don't know if that counts as a large cap or not, but yeah, I would prefer to go individual stocks with the small caps and leave it at that. Or even biotech. Those seem to be a little bit more protected from recessions because it's more so like healthcare. But okay, so that's the weekly. Let's take a look at the Heikin-Ashis. You know, if you must trade it, yeah, this level right here, 212, appears to, you know, I wouldn't even put a stop loss there. I'd be prepared for this thing to come all the way down 5%. That's why I'm not super psyched about it. The time to buy it was down here, down at like 212. Now we're at 221. It's just a little too extended for me. SMH. Can't quite get into the arc, but next week's going to be do or die. We could come down, tap 227 if you get a chance to buy there. Potentially that could be a good entry if you are bullish overall. You know, just a retest and then a push back up. Otherwise, 240 is a key level. Got to close a candle over the top of 240. Looking at Heikin-Ashis, kind of looking the same as the Qs and the SPY. 230 would be your stop loss. And by the way, that's if you choose to use the Heikin-Ashis. So yeah, 230 is your stop loss. You know, if you're doing it the way I would do it, and 230. So that is a 3% drop. And do not create a position size where if you lost 3%, it would ruin your life. Don't do that. Okay, we're gonna look at tech real quick here. We closed over this key level of 565. Now we're trying to get over 580. This is VGT. This is my preferred technology ETF. Has the lowest expense ratio. Basically tracks the same as XLK, but I do like to look at XLK to also inform my levels. Yeah, so kind of seeing the same thing there. Microsoft closing over 434. We have a new resistance level turn support, and it's nearby. So this 434 level is something that you can use. And 414 would be your like ultimate weekly stop loss level. And it's a good one because that would be under Arcane Angle. Okay. Just looking at a daily. I just want to take a look at the daily here. Okay, so yeah, I mean, this 434 seems to be holding up pretty good. NVIDIA fell out of the ARC at the end of the week. Let's see how the weekly looks, though. Sometimes they look a little different. Yeah, so we got a doji, and 119 is a fib level. So this right here next week is going to tell you what NVIDIA is going to do. Next week is it. Unless it just forms another doji, of course. But we have a top level of 119.87. And there is a Fibonacci level at 119.16. So, we close over 120 or over 119.80. So basically close at 120 or higher. And we will flip this reversal candle, confirm support of the fib level, and then it will have legs to try to get out of the ARC and over the downtrend line. So that is this week's goal for NVIDIA. Can we get up and over 120? And you'll know it's going to happen, or it got a great chance if it gets all the way up to 122, 123, because even then it can kind of come down and still close over the top of that. Now, to the downside, 113, we got to stay above that. We do not want to break that level, because then we're going to be coming down to like 110 again. So, yeah, 110 and 120. Just as a rule of thumb, those are your key levels to keep an eye out for. And really, you could just look at the weekly doji candle here and see where we're sitting. Just look at a weekly chart and you'll be able to tell the health of NVIDIA. Tesla looking strong. Looking strong. If I put on Heikin-Ashi candles, it's probably looking great. You got a nice little 217.50 stop loss for Heikin-Ashis, and 245, 246, call it 246. Got to close right at 246 this week, and it could be this week. Look, we got a vertical line right here. This is part of the Gann square. Usually important stuff happens right there. So yeah, 246 close there, and we could continue an uptrend, which would be great. And we do have earnings coming up in less than a month, so that'll play a role. Okay, 246. Meta is off to the races. Confirmed support at 523. Got back up into this fib channel. Next week, I think we get more, baby. I think I think it closes another 6% up. I really do. At least 3%. I think it's green, you guys. I think it's just green all the way through. Unless this fib channel rejects, then we could that would be sad, but I don't know, like it looks like it's the confidence, like it's moving with confidence. So I like what I see. I do like what I see. And And really, I mean, you're looking at 629 as the next target, so 12% from now. I mean, we could see that quickly. Apple, this will be interesting to look at. So, okay, this is not good, you guys. I mean, yeah, it ended up green and with a lot of, okay, it's not it's not bad. It's just not great. Like, we wanted to close over 233, but we tapped it, rejected. We did close high though. So next week, I mean, we really just got to really just crack these all-time highs is what we got to do. But, you know, ideally we're closing over 234, 235 over this candle. We got to close over this candle essentially. Heikin-Ashi candles, let's take a look. So we did get ourselves a green candle here, which this does indicate that the downtrend, the like weakness that we've seen the last couple of weeks is ending, or at least slowing down or reversing. But yeah, we made a lower low and a higher high from these two Heikin-Ashi candles. So nothing really conclusive. Apple, you know, your stop loss is down here at 213.65 and your stop buy is at 233.47. So it's kind of, I guess, you know, we did break this candle here, so that would indicate that we're going to be getting green next, but the jury's still out. Amazon, your Heikin-Ashi stop loss is 277.86, and we did break in to the arc on the weekly. On the daily, we did not. So it's close but no cigar, it looks like. And that level, it sits at about 292.50. But it looks like we can. It looks like it can be done. And on the weekly, it looks good. So, you know, it depends on how zoomed in you want to get. And next week, I guess our monthly candle ends on a Monday. It's kind of weird. All right, so yeah, we're up here. Amazon, you know, as far as, yeah, we just need to keep moving higher is basically it. I mean, it does appear that we are in this fib channel now, and so we could go kind of just flat and sideways, and we'd still be in this fib channel next week. And actually, that might not even be the worst thing. If we go flat and sideways, we would just nestle inside of the arc. More or less. Yeah, I mean, maybe just a little bit up. We really only need to make 1% this week to get inside of this arc. So, let's get it, Amazon. Amazon, I'm really bullish going into the next, like, 18 months. Google, I am not. Google, this is probably the most bearish I am on any Mag 7 stock. I could just see this thing coming up, tapping the cloud, and just breaking right back down before it, like, breaks this whole thing. Thank God I didn't buy here, huh? You know, you would have had a good swing trade, but would you really sold here? No. And then you would have got stopped out. So, I think this thing eventually, like, taps this fib channel and then moves higher. I think it could do that. But yeah, like, Google did get a bunch of volume here today, but we created a gap right here. So I'm sorry, but like, yeah, okay, so Google has a low PE. That just tells you that it doesn't deserve a higher multiple. In my opinion, that's how I view things. You know, when the markets get tough, PEs matter, but in a bull market like we're in, stories matter. And in my opinion, Google is not taking their AI seriously enough, and that is like the biggest threat to their moat. And so, like, why risk it? You know, why risk it? Netflix closing under the arc on the daily, and yeah, just not quite making it up and over the arc on the weekly. So, you know, on the daily, we were looking at the daily like a couple days ago or a couple days before, and then we were like, all right, we did it. And then we had a big rejection, then we closed up. So it's it's having trouble, and I could see us trading in a range until like the moving averages push us higher. Could see that happening. But I think that once we pop this top, you know, we're coming up to this 737. That's a 5% move. So I think we get like a god candle that pops us over. In my opinion, I think that's how it could go, because we got a lot of pressure forming right here. And it might not pop us over. We might reject and come back down and do it all over again. But Netflix has a lot of room to run. You know, once this thing, and we are consolidating higher, you can see. So overall, I like the chart on Netflix. As far as weekly candles, so let's just look here. So, and if I were to do a Heikinashi, like if you're trying to like set like a 680 would be your stop loss. All right, let's take a look at SoFi. SoFi stop loss is going to be the 734. I don't think it goes down there. I don't think you have to worry about that, to be honest. Okay, so the weekly, basically we just nestled right up underneath the cloud and closed right underneath the cloud. Nothing to really worry about there. That doesn't mean that like, oh, everything failed. Like, look how high it's moved in the last couple of weeks. So this week's goal is to basically close over 830. And we want to stay above 792. We have a lot of support at 790. So, you know, and if I look at the daily, could see a retest of 790. I'd be a buyer there. Yeah, I'd probably pick up a couple shares right there. Why not? I mean, you have this like rejection of that level and then an absolute like push higher. I think that, you know, basically that says like, no, this level's for real. And then this level was just way too low. And man, was I lucky to pick up a share at 680 right here. I mean, wow. But yeah, I mean, lucky, or do I just watch the charts? I mean, look at this. That told you right here, like you got this key level right here. You got the bottom of the arc right here. And then worst case scenario, you come down and you tap 650. And so like, you know, okay, so I pick it up right here, and at worst case, I have to watch it go down 3.75%. And at best case, that whole thing rejects. I get back up to the Gann level and I'm at 16%. Like, yeah, I'll take that all day long. So, but yeah, I caught it right here and promptly it moved up. And so that trade is working really strongly. And I will probably add to the position a little bit if it hits 790, because I think this train is leaving the station in a quick and in a hurry. Yeah, so love me some SoFi. While we're talking about meme stocks, Palantir, yeah, that's strong. Look, I mean, we came down, tried to like get unextended from Tenkan-sen, and then we closed over, you know, the previous day's action, or at least the body of its action. Taking a look at the weekly chart, I mean, just strength is the only way to describe this. On a Heikinashi, you do have a stop loss at 32.44, but we have a lot of strength, or a lot of support here at 34.65. So, you know, does it come down to retest this level? Probably. But I think before it does it, I think it's going to come all the way up to this arc. You might see it hit $42 and then do what Palantir is known to do and just slowly bleed out for 2 months, you know, and then pop again, you know, like it's just what it does. Like, I mean, here, let me pull the Heikinashis off. Like, you can see, like, it has these monster moves, and then it bleeds out for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then it just explodes higher, and then it bleeds out for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then it explodes higher. So, like, you know, it's to take profits on this thing is such a pain in the ass, because, like, it moves up within a couple weeks, and then you lose your chance. And it forms a new base, and then it explodes, forms a new base. So, yeah, I think that we could see just absolute more movement, and you're going to feel like you're chasing. And yeah, I mean, but like you might also get a chance like 3-4 weeks later to buy at these levels. So It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. Some other interesting names. DoorDash. Look at this. DoorDash closing with strength over the Gann angle. This is a buy signal for me because you've got everything telling you, oh, we do have a gap here. Don't love that, but like, also, yeah, we do have a gap here. I think if there's turbulence in the markets in the next week and you get a chance to pick up DoorDash at 133, I think you almost have to take it because it could snap back, you know, it could snap back up to this level just to clear that gap, you know. But yeah, we did nestle right on top of this Gann angle, and I mean, if this isn't proof right here that the Gann angle is a real thing that exists and it's not just imaginary lines on a graph, like, I don't know what will. I mean, this, look at this. Look at that. Like when it gapped down right here, it opened right underneath the Gann angle. And then when it gapped up right here, it opened right above the Gann angle, months apart. So don't tell me that this thing doesn't exist, you know? And it's not even a trend line. It's not even like I clicked a point and clicked a point. Like, it's just based on like probably the COVID bottom or somewhere where I drew it from. So yeah, but yeah, DoorDash. This is strong. The other big one, Spotify, had a great situation. So this is pretty far extended on the daily. I would wait to see price maybe close above 368.63 before buying, because otherwise it could come down and tap, like, especially if you get confluence between the ARK and Tenkan-sen, which would probably happen somewhere around $352. If you get that opportunity, you probably take it, and then you can have your tight stop loss. And actually, if it were to happen this week and you wanted to use a Heikin-Ashi stop loss, you could do that, and that would lie right around, well, that'd be like 332, which might actually be a little too far away. So let's do a daily here and call it 348. That's actually a pretty good one. Okay. TLT, I bailed out of my TLT trade. It is sitting right on Kijun-sen, but like, yeah, I didn't like the price action whatsoever. You know, you could buy in next week, set your stop loss at 98.72. Yeah, that could work, because that's a very tight stop loss. And if you were to get another wick down below this one, then, I mean, that tells you that it's pretty much a downtrend then. Costco. Yeah, still uptrending, still doing its thing. Eli Lilly. Yeah, still doing its thing. Here, let's just look at regular candles. Yeah, it's holding this level of 900. So right now you have an opportunity to put in a tight stop loss at like 892 and get yourself some Eli Lilly. Not bad. United Healthcare. Don't like this. Closed under. Oh wait, regular candles. Yeah, don't like this. Don't like this at all. Could be coming down to retest these angles. So I mean, yeah, you got tech is rolling. Why have some healthcare stocks? You know, makes sense. But I like to have this one in my portfolio because historically it outperforms the Qs and it can help reduce your drawdowns in your overall portfolio. Progressive has been, oops, wrong one. Progressive's been acting funny, and I do want to take a look at this. So, okay. Had a little bit of weakness, and now off to the races. You can set a stop loss at 248. I like this. Yeah, here we go. Progressive. Still chugging along. Good for you. Good for you. Oh, let's look at Shark Ninja. Still just crushing it. Still just crushing it. Crushing it. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, so it came out in August. Where did that end? 235% gain. 235% gain last year. 235%. And it looks like it's starting this year off like even stronger. I mean, we're only a month in and we're at 23%. So, Shark Ninja. Ninja. MasterCard. Holding the fib level. Okay. Yeah. MasterCard's still looking strong in my opinion. Lockheed Martin. Yeah, grinding higher. Let's take a look at CrowdStrike, see where it's at, see if it's near anything. Yeah, so I would say I wouldn't buy this thing unless like it retests some kind of level, because it's still a wild ride, and it kind of just closed this sort of gap right here. Here, let's look at the daily, see if there was a gap that it closed. Yeah, kind of. So it got stopped by the cloud. I wouldn't buy right now. If you bought right here at 265, good for you. That's a pretty good spot to do it. I would wait to go back down there. Otherwise, like, I'm waiting for this thing to get up to 340 and retest 320. And I would be playing with tight stop losses. I used to love CrowdStrike. It was 10% of my portfolio, and then it started turning over up here, and I got out completely, and then it fell off the face of the earth. So I missed this awful move, and actually I think I bought my shares down here, so I made a pretty good gain on it, and I got out before just the bloodbath, you know. Let's look at Bitcoin. Yeah, cool. It's coming back down to retest probably at 62.1. But this looks pretty, I mean, normal. Like, it comes in waves. Stocks don't go up in a straight line, you know. So I think it's just coming down before it gets too far extended. It's just coming down to confirm, like, was that support? Was that resistance support? So nothing to worry about here. I wouldn't be buying yet. I would probably wait to see if I can pick it up at 62.1. It's at 62.8. I mean, that's 1%. Maybe, yeah, it's only 1% away. So, you know, you could just buy right now, I guess. It's not going to be that significant considering Bitcoin likes to move like 100% at a pop. So, I mean, like, look at this. It's like a 20% move. But yeah, overall, Bitcoin's looking pretty good. We did have like a lower high right here, so we couldn't quite make a higher high. But if we're able to do that, then this could be the ripper that we've been waiting for. It's really just got to hold this gain angle. It's got to hold this gain angle, and it's got to make a higher high and get above the gain arc. And if you can do that and hold this gain angle, like, then that's really key. And I mean, yeah, if you look at it, it's like, it's kind of like it's like the final moment for it to stay in this arc and just to complete this. And maybe that's what it's been. It's just time to like cap that. So interesting. But yeah, 62.1 is the key level for this week, not to go below it or to close below it on a daily chart. And then 65.5 like is getting up and out of this arc. And that would get us a higher high right here. So we would have double bottomed and then made a higher high. That would be important. Ethereum, I actually bought some Ethereum the other day. We are struggling with the bottom of the cloud, but I really do think once Bitcoin breaks out, and if it can break all-time highs, this Ethereum will as well. And the catch-up trade on this thing is like 60%. So I'm not saying like Ethereum's going to outperform Bitcoin over the next year, but it has the potential to like make up all this lost ground because it is further off its highs than Bitcoin is. XRP is another one that's looking really good. We rejected out of the ARC to end the week, which is kind of sad. But we're grinding higher. more strength next week, and you know, this thing is poised, is all I have to say. It's like absolutely poised to explode. And that's like what it does. Like, it just explodes. Like, look at these moves in the past. Like, holy shit, it's out of the box. Like, 1,300% in like 3 weeks. %700%. I mean, yeah. Absolutely incredible. And not to mention, like, when it was like down here and it just moved sideways. And actually, yeah, that's worth taking a look at, because that's really where this started in 2017. Like, what kind of move was this? 30,000%. That's unbelievable. Holy shit. So yeah, I mean, there's people that think XRP is going to absolutely moonshot. I'm one of them. I think that if you have like $500 in XRP, 10 years from now, you might be paying off your house. You know, like, I think it could potentially be that crazy. So I'm long XRP. Doge is another one that's actually looking kind of good. I think it crossed a key level here the other day. I saw I got a notification that it closed, or it got above 11 cents. Yeah, so it's trying to get above this downtrend line. Next week's going to be key. It just needs to stay above 10 cents. Or 10.5 cents. It just needs to stay above that, and then we're over the downtrend line, and we can start constructing higher. 12, 13, call it 13 cents. That's really the we need to get there level, because then we're over again a level, and then we're over a downtrend line. That means that, and if you see Doge get over that, that might, and like the other cryptos are kind of like, you know, like a question mark is there, that could indicate to you like, oh, maybe the health of crypto is there. Or that could even tell you that maybe it's alt season, you know, stuff like that. So it's interesting to keep your eye on some of these meme coins. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me. That's my weekend review video. I hope you got some value out of it. If you did, if you could smash that like button, if you could hit subscribe if you enjoyed that video and you'd like to see the next video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if there's a stock you would like me to take a look at, go ahead and comment below what you'd like me to take a look at. I'm just going to take a look at gold. Look at this. Gold is working its way into the arc. Even gold obeys the GAN. Isn't that something? All right, man. Thank you so much for joining me. Risky Brian out.